Procrastination isn't laziness. It's National Procrastination Week, and while some might joke about putting off celebrating until later, procrastination is a serious challenge for many high achieving professionals, especially those who struggle with perfectionism and traits of obsessive compulsive personality disorder. For executives, entrepreneurs, and professionals in high stakes careers, procrastination is often not about laziness. Instead, it stems from a deep seated fear of imperfection, an obsession with control, and an inability to delegate or start tasks that feel overwhelming. Understanding these connections and finding strategies that deliver disproportionate rewards for effort can be the key to breaking free. One of the most common places this shows up, delaying the decision to quit drinking. Many professionals who recognize that alcohol is creating more problems than solutions still put off quitting because they believe now isn't the right time. I have too much going on. Once I get past this stressful project deal case, I'll reevaluate. Drinking is my one way to relax. I need a better plan before I stop. The problem? There will never be a perfect time to stop drinking. Understanding how perfectionism, procrastination, and stress management intersect is key to moving forward. In many cases, seeking specialized care for alcohol use disorder, AUD, substance use disorder, SUD, perfectionism, and executive stress reduction can provide the right structure and support for lasting change. If you recognize yourself in these patterns, reach out to a professional who understands the unique challenges of high achieving individuals. So, perfectionism and procrastination are two sides of the same coin. Many professionals assume that procrastination and perfectionism are opposites, but they often fuel each other. Here's how: the fear of imperfection delays action. You tell yourself you'll start once you have all of the information or feel fully prepared. You over research, you over plan, and you overthink instead of taking the first step. You tell yourself you'll stop drinking once you have a complete plan in place. You wait for a sign that it's time to change while nothing actually changes. All or nothing thinking creates avoidance. If you don't have time to do it perfectly, you'd rather not start at all. Small, incremental progress feels like a failure because it doesn't meet your high standards. If I can't quit perfectly without discomfort, without stress, without any cravings, I'd rather not try. If past attempts haven't worked, you assume you need more control, when in reality, you may need less self judgment. So tasks become emotionally heavy. A simple task like responding to an email or drafting a report becomes an event that requires the right mindset and perfect conditions to begin. The result is you push it off, hoping for an ideal moment that never comes. Alcohol feels like the shortcut to stress reduction. Drinking seems to provide immediate relief, making it easier to delay healthier coping mechanisms. The thought of facing stress without alcohol feels like adding another challenge to an already overwhelming to do list. The paradox: drinking to manage stress actually makes stress worse in the long run by impairing cognitive function, reducing quality sleep, and increasing emotional reactivity. If you recognize these patterns in yourself, seeking qualified care from a professional who specializes in executive stress management, perfectionism, and substance use disorders can help you replace ineffective coping strategies with ones that actually support your success. So, obsessive compulsive personality disorder is when structure becomes a trap. Unlike OCD, which involves intrusive thoughts and compulsions, Obsessive compulsive personality disorder is about control and order and perfectionism. Many professionals with OCPD traits struggle to delegate because they believe others won't do the job correctly, spend excessive time in small details, making projects longer than necessary. They have rigid rules and routines that make it difficult to adapt. They feel intense discomfort when they perceive inefficiency or mistakes. While these traits can absolutely drive success, they also fuel procrastination by making even small tasks feel overwhelming. The paradox is perfectionism makes people less productive. For many in this category, alcohol becomes a break from the mental obsession of constantly controlling their environment, emotions, and performance. But here's the hard truth: if you are using alcohol to quiet your brain, relieve stress, or feel off duty from your own standards, you may be reinforcing a bigger problem. Rather than solving stress, alcohol reinforces the need for a shortcut. And over time, it becomes the one area of life where structure breaks down completely. Specialized care for high functioning professionals can help restore balance while addressing both perfectionism and unhealthy coping patterns. If this resonates with you, working with a professional who understands the unique mental health needs of executives, entrepreneurs, and high stake professionals can help you regain control in a way that supports both your career and well being. So, breaking the cycle, choosing high impact habits. One way to escape the perfectionism procrastination loop is by focusing on habits and activities that have a disproportionate payoff for the effort. Instead of trying to do everything perfectly, shift your focus to efficiency, strategy, and compounding benefits. The 80/20 rule, the Pareto principle, says that 80% of your results come from 20% of your effort. Identify what tasks have the biggest impact and prioritize them. For example, instead of spending hours tweaking a presentation, focus on nailing three key points that drive decisions. Instead of trying to quit drinking perfectly, shift your focus to strategies that make a big difference with minimal effort. The second one is good enough is often better than perfect, and good enough is better than perfect sobriety. Professionals with perfectionist tendencies waste time over polishing. If a task is 80 to 90% done, ask, would more effort make a real difference? If not, move on. What actually helps you unwind besides alcohol? Example: instead of worrying about completely restructuring your life, commit to a 15-minute habit that decompresses you without alcohol. No one quits drinking flawlessly. If perfectionism is holding you back, redefine what success looks like. For example, instead of aiming for forever, commit to 2 weeks and see how you feel. The third suggestion: choose the first small action. When a task feels overwhelming, don't focus on finishing, focus on starting. For example, instead of planning a full fitness routine, commit to one 5 minute stretch. When quitting feels overwhelming, don't focus on forever, focus on starting. For example, instead of deciding to quit cold turkey, replace your first drink of the evening with something else. The next suggestion is to leverage high return rituals. Some activities recharge you more than others. Prioritize habits with a low time investment but high mental clarity payoff. Breath work or a short walk instead of doom scrolling and instead of opening a bottle of wine. 15-minute journaling or planning instead of an hour of overthinking and instead of numbing out with alcohol. Delegating a 5 minute task instead of struggling alone for 30. Connecting with another professional who's quit drinking instead of trying to figure it out alone. If you struggle to implement these shifts, seeking structured professional support can provide a proven framework for navigating perfectionism, high functioning alcohol use, and executive level stress management. So, my final thoughts on this are the power of letting go. For professionals, learning to let go of control and embrace imperfection can be a game changer. Procrastination isn't always about willpower. It's often a sign that your standards are sabotaging your progress. If you've been putting off quitting drinking, ask yourself, am I waiting for the right time, one that may never come? Am I letting my high standards keep me stuck? Could small changes today create a massive return later? This National Procrastination Week, challenge yourself to start before you feel ready. Let good enough be enough and choose the actions that give you the biggest return.